The laughter hit me before the words did. I was standing in the middle of the ballroom, holding a small velvet box, a family heirloom I'd planned to give my new daughter-in-law, when she said it. "Oh, come on, Mr. Turner," she sneered, her voice dripping with mock sweetness. "You didn't really think I'd wear something that old, did you? It looks like it came from a pawn shop." A few guests gasped. Others tried to stifle their chuckles. My son, Michael, froze beside her, eyes darting between me and his fiancée. And just like that, the air in the room turned cold. I'm not a man easily embarrassed. At 71, I've been through worse. A factory shut down, a house fire, losing my wife of 40 years. But humiliation? In front of your own family? That's a different kind of pain. That day was supposed to be about love and unity. I'd spent nearly $48,000 of my savings to give Michael and Claire the wedding they dreamed of. The reception hall gleamed with crystal chandeliers, roses lined every table, and a live jazz band played softly in the corner. Everything was perfect, until Claire opened her mouth. "Claire," I said quietly, my hand tightening around the small box. "This necklace belonged to Michael's grandmother. She wore it on her wedding day. I thought—" She interrupted me with a laugh so sharp it could cut glass. "Well, that explains the smell of mothballs." The laughter around us grew louder. My heart dropped. Michael tried to intervene, placing a hand on her arm. "Claire, maybe that was." But she shook him off. "I'm just being honest, babe. We can't have something ancient ruining the photos." That was it. I closed the box slowly, slid it into my jacket pocket, and took a step back. "You're right," I said, my voice steady but low. "We wouldn't want anything old ruining your perfect day." I turned and walked away, ignoring the eyes that followed me. In the hallway outside the ballroom, I took a deep breath and looked at my reflection in the mirror. The old man staring back looked tired of pretending that money and manners could hide a person's true character. My late wife, Margaret, used to say, "Money shows who someone really is. Give it to the wrong person, and you'll see their soul." Well, I was seeing it now, clear as day. I found Michael a few minutes later near the catering area. He looked pale, nervous. "Dad, I'm so sorry about what she said. You know how Claire gets when she's stressed. She didn't mean it." I raised an eyebrow. "Didn't mean to humiliate me in front of 200 guests?" He rubbed the back of his neck, avoiding my eyes. "She's just anxious. The photographer, the guests, the dress. It's a lot." "Please, don't take it personally," I chuckled bitterly. "Son, when a woman publicly mocks your father before marrying into the family, that's not nerves. That's character." He didn't respond, and that silence told me everything. While Michael went back to the ballroom, I walked to the manager's office and made a single phone call to my bank. The funds I'd set aside for the remaining wedding expenses, catering, decorations, photographer's final payment, were under my name, and within 10 minutes, they were frozen. I walked back into that hall not as the quiet, kind father of the groom everyone thought I was, but as the man who'd built his life brick by brick, and wasn't about to be disrespected by anyone. When I returned, the music had started again, and Claire was posing for photos, her smile wide and fake. The photographer turned to me. "Mr. Turner, would you like to join the family photo?" I smiled politely. "No, thank you. I think the family photo should reflect what the family really feels." Claire's grin faltered. Michael looked confused. "What's that supposed to mean?" she asked, her voice tight. I stepped closer, my voice carrying just enough for nearby guests to hear. "It means I've decided to pull the wedding funds. Every last dollar. Consider it a wedding gift. The gift of responsibility." Gasps filled the air. Claire's face turned red. "You can't do that. Everything's already paid." I shrugged. "Partially. The rest was due after the ceremony. You'll need to figure that out yourselves." Michael's mouth opened, but no words came out. He knew I was serious. As I turned to leave, Claire hissed, "You're ruining our wedding." I stopped at the doorway and looked back one last time. No, I said softly. You ruined it the moment you decided to humiliate the man who made it possible. Then I walked out. That evening, I sat in my truck outside the venue, watching as chaos unfolded. The catering staff began whispering when they learned payment wasn't finalized. The band stopped playing halfway through. Guests started leaving. I should have felt guilty. But instead, I felt peace. My phone buzzed. It was Michael. Dad, please. They're saying they won't serve dinner unless we pay. Can't you just— I warned you, son, I said gently. Respect is worth more than any wedding bill. There was silence, then a quiet, broken whisper. I understand. A week later, Michael came to visit me, alone. He looked exhausted, his eyes heavy. She's gone, he said. Her family bailed her out, but she's been furious ever since that night. We called off the wedding. I nodded slowly. I'm sorry it ended like that. He shook his head. Don't be. You opened my eyes, Dad. She wasn't marrying me. She was marrying the money, the show, the attention. He paused, then added softly, Mom would have done the same thing you did. I smiled faintly. That's exactly what I thought. A few months later, I attended a much smaller wedding, Michael's real one. This time, the bride was a quiet, kind-hearted teacher named Emma. No designer dress, no fancy ballroom, no arrogant speeches. Just love, family, and laughter. Before the ceremony, Michael handed me the small velvet box I'd tried to give Claire that day. Emma wants to wear it, he said with a smile. She said it's beautiful. I swallowed hard and nodded. Your grandmother would be proud. As the music began and my son took his bride's hand, I realized something. Sometimes walking away isn't an act of anger. It's an act of love. Because real love, the kind that lasts, doesn't humiliate, demand, or mock. It respects. It honors. It sees. And in that quiet moment, I finally saw, too, that the best gift I could give my son wasn't money. It was wisdom.